Hello everyone, this is Anna. Welcome back. This is the reading for, well, let me see, tomorrow's Labor Day, so I'm recording this today, the day before. This reading is for September the 7th through the 13th. Okay, and happy Labor Day to all of us who are enjoying that holiday here in the US. I'm using the Silva Era Tarot. Okay, I know most of you, well, a lot of you like to ask me what deck are you using, so I'm just going to show it to you. Silva Era Tarot, followed by the Madame Endora Fortune cards. These are the oracles. A lovely set. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. Hope you had a wonderful week this past week, and now we move forward into the new Tarot Oracle card journey, right? Okay, so here we go. First card I pulled was the Eight of Pentacles, followed by the Strength, another 8. So we've got 8, 8, followed by the Ace of Cups. Underlying energy, the Chariot. Okay, we just had the Chariot in the past week, right? So, and then also I spoke about how Chariot and, you know, the last spread as a longer term effect, right? So, but there's a Chariot, so it's linking us back to that. And then I pulled the Spider Oracle card, and I'll show you that up close in a second. Let's begin with the Eight of Pentacles, shall we? Earth card, you see a woman here. She is working. She's chipping away, chiseling away at her work. She's at the workbench. Very modest, and depiction here of what the card means. Okay, so there's a lot to consider. There's a lot of work to be done, or actually a work that has been done. So I do feel like this is kind of like a past kind of card. Okay, like if we're looking like a past, present, and future type of thing. Okay, so this does look like you've really laid out the work, and basically your map, your layout, your thing, all the things that you've been working on in order to get to a certain point, reach a certain vantage point, etc. So you've been working really hard, chipping away at the old block. Okay, it's a very modest approach, but it's a very methodical approach. Good for you. Okay, so there's been a lot of hard work involved, a lot of meticulous work involved in your recent past. Good. What does that mean? What does that mean? Well, all the work is going to lead you into, all of that work is not in vain, is what it's telling me. So in the present position, okay, we're moving into the Strength card. Also 8, 8, 8. 8 numbers, it's a number of abundance, but 8 is also a number of which means that there's a lot of action going on. Okay, more action in the planning. We're not just sitting here thinking. We're moving along. We're just ready to get things flowing, ready to get things moving. This could also indicate that you're going to now move into a period of, instead of planning out and working to lay out all the road work, right? You're actually going to be doing something. So this is a card of doing. The Strength card also brings in a vantage point of strength for you. Literally, you are standing in a position of strength, sitting in a position of strength. Okay, this is not about defeating enemies. This is not about being you know, I'm better than you. This is not the type of idea behind the Strength card. This is just, this is a card that's really simply telling me that people have recognized the hard work you put forth, and it is going to be rewarded. There's that Ace of Cups, which is reward. We did talk about this in the last week's reading, but here we are with the Strength card, and this card is telling me, you know, you're sitting, it's like you're sitting on your own throne, so to speak. You know, you're your own. There's something about you. There's an air, like there's an aura about you. There's something that is very desirable about you. And basically, with this card, I'm going to anchor this card in the fact that you shouldn't shortchange yourself, and you know, and you need to view yourself as that strong inner person, that person who brings something valuable to the table. Okay, so you bring something of value to the table, to the group, you know, to an effort, whatever it is. There is something about you that is extremely valuable, and desirable. Okay, so do not shortchange yourself. All right, so all of that hard work you've maybe been chipping away, and maybe you've been really humble about it. This is what I'm getting, the comparing and contrasting. I'm getting like humbleness, and now it's like reigning supreme, you know? So it's like royalty. Being humble about something, and now actually being in a position to say, this is who I am, and this is what I have to offer, and you know, this is what you need to compensate me for. Just, you know, as an example, okay? So that's what's going on there. That's awesome. Very good. So we're moving away from this, well, we're always keeping ourselves grounded with the earth, you know, with the pentacles and the work. And we always want to be humble about our work. But I do, with the way the cards are laid out, it's saying, and especially with the spider card right up top, crowning the entire spread thus far, it's telling me that now you can actually, it's safe to move away from being so humble about speaking of your own assets, or of your abilities and whatnot, and you can actually be more regal and just say what it is that you need to convey about yourself, and allow yourself to bask in that sunny, in that sunshine. Allow yourself to receive praise, you know what I mean? So if someone gives you praise, you know, don't feel like you have to back up and be really, really humble about it, but do say, you know, say thank you, right? Say, it's okay, say thank you. You've earned it. You've earned that right. Okay, so so far, these two cards are telling me, you know, there's a move to assertiveness with the strength card. Okay, so this strength card is assertiveness. All right, so there's a move to assertiveness, and that's awesome. Okay, so being assertive is the key. All right, so whatever it is, it's a general reading, but whatever it is that is going on in your life, whatever it is that you are experiencing, whatever's going on at work or at home, whatever, interpersonally, you know, the move to assertiveness. Really be assertive in yourself, because you've got a lot going for you. Now, when you are assertive, right, in a positive way, right, that this is that healthy selfishness, this is the healthy assertiveness that we should exercise. You know, it's not being conceited, it's not being egotistic, right? We're not trying to be ego. No, not ego driven, but being assertive. Okay, this is going to bring you into a very good state here, because this Ace of Cups tells me that something comes into your hands, you receive something, and it is welcoming, whatever that is. Okay, the cups, yes, emotions and water, but cups to me, it's like invitation, or something that is inviting and pleasing in one's life. Okay, so we begin to see our cup full, right? The cup is full. It's not empty, none of that. No, the cup is full. It conveys a message of feeling full, like feeling fulfilled, like you are the cup, like you are the vessel, and you're feeling satisfied about who you are and about the things that you have achieved in your life. Okay, so being, you know, learn to appreciate and feel satisfied with your contributions in life thus far, what you will continue to contribute. Okay, and you know that it's a good thing. It's a very good feeling. It's like you're finally coming into your being. You know, you're understanding, okay, this is what I've done. Great. Not everything, or not every experience defines who you are, right? But you are satisfied with who you are as a person, whether it is spiritually, whatever it is. Okay, so just to keep it general, there's an overall sense of satisfaction, but this also just tells me that there's something that you will receive, and that is going to bring you satisfaction of some sort. Okay, so this is great, emotionally and spiritually, right? Okay, so positive. The assertiveness is key here. Okay, so we're moving away from that humbleness, and that was necessary. We all need to go through that. It's like a right? It's the way things progress in life. And then you reach a point where you can be assertive and you can demonstrate, and show others that, hey, this is what I have to offer, etc. The reason being 1, 2, and 3, whatever, right? And there's a general sense of satisfaction with the Ace of Cups. Therefore, your message or what you're conveying is well received. It is satisfying, it is well received, and people perceive you to be a well-rounded individual. So this is a well-rounded individual, really finally coming into who you are meant to be, if that makes any sense. But it's just a general sense of assertiveness, no more like literally working, sitting on you're on your knees and working so hard and slaving away. It's not a slaving away energy. That's not what I see here. I see a move away from slaving away, like, for instance, if you've held 2 part-time jobs, maybe you'll have a full-time job instead of 2 part-time jobs. You follow? That is an example. So these 3 cards can, evaluate what's going on in your life. And, don't shortchange yourself, because the cards are saying that you're coming into a period of satisfaction. So if you and I keep going back because with this card, it's very much associated with work. Again, that I don't know why I keep going back to this example, but, if you've had the 2 part-time jobs, it looks like you're going to have the one full-time job, which is better, right? So you're not splitting your time and your efforts between 2 different jobs, and that brings satisfaction. Or and I'm using this as an example, but you can apply this as you see fit, okay? Now, underlying energy is the Chariot. We had the Chariot in last week's reading, and I did mention how last week's reading was going to be, it felt to be like something that we would have with us, lingering with us throughout the remainder of the year. And boom, here we have the Chariot card again. So this is a 7, and the number 7 is all about reflection and thinking and strategic thinking and thinking some more, etc. But the Chariot card is about taking charge. It's about being your own general, being your own commander, okay? And for those of you who have military family or military related, you understand what I mean. But it's really commanding your life purpose, the direction that you wish things to go in, and it's great. So really taking command of how you want things to progress in your life is essential, has been essential to this point, and will continue to be essential. Okay, so taking command, and you need to do that in order to remain on this path here, where you can remain assertive, okay, and just feel generally satisfied, whether that is a relationship, work, whatever it is. Okay, now, moving over to the oracle side of the house, the Spider card. Interesting little creature here. This card says, I'm shaking the camera. Be meticulous and patient. Can you see that? Okay, so now, this really is self-explanatory. The Spider card says, okay, you need to take your time, don't rush anything, okay, and the spider, blah, 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 weaves its web, blah, 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 the whole deal with the spider. But when I see this image of the spider, okay, I always think of reconstruction, okay, and there's a very personal and spiritual attachment to that meaning for me that goes back a few years. So whenever I've seen a spider just weave a humongous web like on my porch, literally overnight, I mean, not a little one, gargantuan, especially during a time where things have been rough for me, it's always been a positive indicator, because it tells me something. It tells me that, hey, you're going to bounce back up. Oh, things are going to turn around for you. You'll see. And sure enough, it does. And so the spider, when I see the image of the spider, it says be meticulous and patient. So be patient, because things will pan out, all right? But the spider is also very meticulous, okay? So when we're looking at the cards here saying be meticulous and patient, and with this card here of a strength as assertiveness, right? and self-assuredness. When you're picky, you're gonna have to be a little picky, okay? When you're picky, and I'm not saying picking in an annoying sense, meaning you're much more discriminating with certain choices that you make, things will turn out in your favor. That's what the Spider card is telling me in conjunction with the Tarot here, okay? So that is pivotal. For instance, someone throws a job offer at you, and you're like, oh, that's not bad. But if you take that job out of desperation, you may miss out on really what you wanted to do when another job offer pops up. You follow? And that's just an example. Okay? So you need to be patient and you need to be meticulous. Okay, so we're going to have to be picky, folks. We're going to have to be picky. All right? And that is a good thing, because with these cards, it's showing that we've learned a lot about ourselves. We know what we want. You know what you want now. And because you know what you want, you also know what you don't want, right? And when you know what you don't want, you can say, look, I'm not going to waste my time with this effort over here. And then, you know, 2 years later, I'm not feeling satisfied, right? Excuse me. Yeah. So that's what's going on here. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm really enjoying these cards as they are. And another point, you know, these cards, it doesn't mean that you haven't been disappointed along the way, or that someone's hasn't come through with their word, or any of these other things. Of course, you have all these other outside factors that may chime in from time to time. But as a core, and if you see, it's like a cross here, right? These cards at the core level, telling me be self-assured, okay? Don't be too humble about yourself, meaning don't downplay or shortchange your skills and the value that you bring to the table, and you will be generally satisfied. Do be picky, okay? And always keep that strategic thinking. Always keep that in mind. Always think about what your next step will be. And that's what the Chariot card is about. What is my next step? What is my next step for success, right? Oh, when you keep that type of thinking, you will continue towards achieving the goals that you've set out to achieve, okay? But if you remove this from the mix, then you're left with this, which is more like high hopes and no strategy, right? So that's definitely a lot to take in. It's a lot for us to ingest, to think about, right? And it sounds like there's a lot of homework for plenty of us to do. Whether that means you sit down and you outline once and for all, you know, what it is that I want to do, what I don't want to do, the situations that I wish to be placed, you know, be in or around, the people that I wish to be around or surrounded by. These are things that we need to do. We need to, you know, really clean up our act, clean up our thinking, and be self-assured. That Strength card is right in the middle, and it's just really, it's screaming, being regal and beautiful and self-assured. You know, and this is all in a very positive fashion. It's not ego-driven. It's not conceited in any way. It is necessary. It's a new step in your life, and you have every right to feel this way because you've earned it. Okay, if that makes any sense. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and I will see you again next week when we pick up this Tarot Oracle card journey again. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for bearing with me, and you know, thank you for your beautiful comments. I always love to hear from all of you. Thank you so much for watching and sharing, and I will see you again here next week. Bye bye.